After watching that Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, I am excited for the NSO online. It kind of sucks that we're only getting GameCube on Switch 2 exclusively and not on the first Switch, but whatever. Now, I do not care about Mario Kart World. I do not care about Kirby Air Riders. I do not care about any other game on the Switch 2, whether it's exclusive or not. There's only two games that matter to me: Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale Darkness. I already talked about how much I love those games if you've seen my February Direct predictions video, which unfortunately never happened because why would Game Freak ever acknowledge those games? Why? Well, guess what? They finally acknowledged those games. You see, Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale Darkness were exclusive to the GameCube. Now let me tell you something. Those games, whether you call them a spin-off game or a main series games, right now they're like my favorite Pokemon games. I mean, they're up there with Leaf Green and Fire Red, but Coliseum and XD Gale Darkness are like my absolute favorites. If I have to choose one over the other, definitely XD Gale Darkness, just because Shadow Lugia is amazing. You know how in every Pokemon game, you're 10 years old, you try to get gym badges, battle the Elite Four, all that stuff? Not this game. Oh no. You're playing as a guy from an evil team that blew up a building, and your goal is to catch Pokemon, but not the way you think. Oh no, you're stealing Pokemon. Straight up, you're stealing Pokemon. The idea is that Pokemon are becoming shadow Pokemon, basically evil Pokemon, and you have to open the door to its heart by purifying them in a stupid chamber that I never did because it's pointless work. The idea is that Coliseum and XD Gale Darkness, there are some Pokemon exclusive to that game that you couldn't get in like Fire Red and Leaf Green because, you know, Johto Pokemon games were not on the GBA. Because it was always on the GBC. So basically you're just, you know, stealing Pokemon, and you ride around in a motorcycle instead of a bike, which is cool. And it's like the first 3D Pokemon game if you don't count Stadium. And it really sucks because in Pokemon X, when Pokemon X and Y came out, that's the reason why they're not doing like 3D Pokemon games in the style of Coliseum and XD Gale Darkness, because, you know, we have Pokemon games that are 3D now, but you know what? It's not the same. It really isn't the same. It was something special back on the GameCube. Nowadays, it's just so ruined. I actually prefer the pixel art style in the older Pokemon games as opposed to what we have nowadays, which is a bit of a letdown, but whatever. Now, for XD Gale Darkness, sort of the same idea. However, you are playing as a 10-year-old child. Your house is literally the Pokemon laboratory, and you are given a mechanical arm to go around and steal Pokemon once again. However, there was, I don't know if this was true or not, but supposedly in Coliseum, the guy you play as is supposed to be the bad guy in XD Gale Darkness, and you have to battle him. However, that idea was sort of scrapped, because Game Freak. Yeah, Game Freak. But still, you're playing as a 10-year-old child. You're basically going around and stealing other people's Pokemon, and you go through like a volcano. You drive around and stuff. It's basically similar to Coliseum, just not as edgy as I don't know. I prefer XD Gale Darkness over Coliseum because one of the reasons is that you could save pretty much anywhere in the game, where in Coliseum you're only limited to save if you're in a place with a PC, which is kind of annoying. And the fact that, I cannot believe I am saying this, the fact that we're getting these games on the Switch 2 using the GameCube NSO, yeah, that problem is now eliminated. But here's another theory I have to say. Now, remember when I talked about in Coliseum that you're catching Pokemon and purifying them to trade in like the GBA games? When are we ever going to get the GBA games for Switch 2 or regular Switch? You know what? I really wish it was available for, you know, Switch 1 as well. I mean, don't be stupid and make the GBC and GBA Pokemon games only Switch 2. Like, don't do that. That's not fair. But anyways, yeah, Pokemon XD Gale Darkness is the best game. Shadow Lugia is awesome. And yeah. In my room, I have a Nintendo GameCube. And I still, to this day, have both my copies of Coliseum and XD Gale Darkness, because GameCube had like those really small DVD looking discs. I still have those, and I already beat those games. Not 100%, but I caught every Shadow Pokemon. And you know what? I'm going to do it all over again on the Switch too. Now, the only reason I don't play those games anymore, like the only reason I don't have a GameCube set up in my room is because, well, I got an Xbox 360 set up in my room and my Switch, so I don't know. I have to interchange between the two systems, and I'm just happy I can finally play these Pokemon games on a handheld. Yeah, it sucks. It's on the NSO. You're only renting them because it's a subscription. Yeah, it still sucks, but you know what? I'll still take it because I love those games. I mean, besides Melee, those Pokemon games are like my all-time favorite games, and I'm going to talk about why I love those Pokemon games. Spoiler alert, because you can steal people's Pokemon. Gotta catch them all? More like gotta steal them all. And that's why I love these two games. So without further ado, let me tell you why these games hold a very special place in my heart.